Hello everyone, welcome back to Emma Pigeon Yoga. Today I am on the beautiful island of Santorini, Greece. It is mid-October right now, so it's a bit chilly. Usually the island is more known for, lounging in the pool, walking around in your swimsuit or linen shirts, but I've swapped that for my yoga leggings and a long sleeve shirt to lead you through class today. Today's class is going to be focused on our peak pose, Vishvamitrasana, extended compass, falling compass, extended warrior. It has a few different translations. It is pretty difficult, so we're going to do some hip opening to warm the body up, and then I'll actually kind of break down the posture itself partway through class. We'll have lots of options for beginner, intermediate, and advanced practitioners. Let's go ahead and get started on our backs, lying down. Extend your legs. You can let the toes flop out towards the sides. Let your arms sprawl a little bit off the edges of your mat. Bring your left hand to your heart, your right hand to your belly. Start to follow your breath in, sipping air in nice and slow through the nose. Exhale, opening your mouth, letting it go. A few more, focusing on the slowness of your breathing. Expanding the lungs, the belly a little bit more with each round of breath. Next, inhale, point your toes, stretch your arms all the way up overhead. Try to glue the lower back down towards the mat. Squeeze your abdominals. Feel the inner thighs spiral down. Exhale, hug your knees into your chest, rock a bit side to side, massaging the lower back. Go ahead and keep your right leg in. Extend your left leg long and flex your foot. Try to drive your right knee towards your right armpit. Stay here. Option for a half happy baby. Right hand to the bottom of your foot. Try to create a nice 90 degrees with that right leg. Maybe the left hand comes to the top of the left thigh, opening up the right hip for 3, 2, 1. Extend your right leg straight up. Walk your hands up your calf and clasp. Try to pull that right leg a little bit back towards you. Flex the foot. You should feel a stretch in the calf, the hamstring. Put a little tuck to your chin, and then we'll all go ahead and lift the head and shoulders up off the mat, squeezing your abdominals. Lift, 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 elbows out to the sides for 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and rebend your right knee. Bring the right leg all the way over to the left for a twist. Right arm reach to the right. Let the right ear fall towards the mat. Imagine pressing the right hip bone towards the front of your mat. 3, 2, 1. Unwind both knees into the chest. Extend the right leg. Keep the left leg in towards the left armpit as you drive your right heel, right calf into the mat. Stay here. Option half happy baby. Left hand, bottom of the left foot. Try to stack the ankle over the knee, getting a nice 90 degrees here for 3, 2, 1. Straighten out the left leg, straight up. Walk your hands up your calf and clasp. Keep the foot flexed. And then we'll all go ahead and lift the head and shoulders up off the mat, squeezing your lower abdominals. Gaze up towards your left ankle. The elbows come out to the sides for 3. Lift a little more. 2. 1. Release the head and shoulders. Rebend your left knee and take it for a gentle twist. Left arm to the left. Keep the left shoulder blade melting down. 3. Long and even breaths. 2. 1. Unwinding. Hug both knees into the chest. Go ahead and tabletop the legs. Flex your feet. Create that nice 90 degrees again and bring your arms straight up. Palms face each other. Glue the lower back down so you can feel the lower abdominals tense. As you straighten your right leg out, it's going to hover a few inches off the mat. Send your left arm behind you, bicep by the ear. Keep the right arm straight up, left leg where it's at. As you bring the right leg back to a bend, left arm up, pause here in center. Right arm extends, bicep by the ear as the left leg floats off the mat, foot stays flexed. Come back to your starting position. These are called dead bugs. The right leg's going to extend as the left arm reaches back. Back to starting. Right arm, left leg. Back to starting. 2 more rounds. Try to keep the lower back glued to the mat. Feet stay flexed the entire time. Fingertips stay active. Last round. Great. Go ahead and extend your legs straight up. Bring your arms down by your side and float them off the mat. Peel the head and shoulders up off the mat. Looking towards your inner thighs, we're just going to pulse it forward, keeping the heads and shoulders up off the mat. Your feet can be pointed or flexed, but try to make sure the ankles and the knees are both stacked directly over the hips and your legs aren't coming back with the feet over your face. Keep pulsing it up. Gazes directly up to release a little tension on the neck. It's like your fingertips are reaching towards the top of your mat each time. We'll pulse up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock all the way up onto your seats. Extend both legs long out in front of you, and then bend your right knee in. Clasp your hands behind your hamstring and straighten your right leg as much as possible. Try to lengthen your spine, flex both feet. Use your right peace sign fingers to catch your right big toe and try to tug that leg back in towards you. You can keep your left hand on your hamstring or on your calf. All right, we're going to cross the right ankle over the left thigh, bend your left knee, creating a figure 4 shape. Your hands will plant behind you, fingertips point forward. Flex both feet. Nice opening into the hips. Try to drive the right knee towards the top of the mat, and then go ahead and lift your hips up for a figure 4 tabletop. Firm down the palms, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other, open up the chest, and release, bringing your seat all the way down. Got a nice easy switch here, simply extending that right leg, clasp your hands behind your left hamstring, and straighten your left leg. Both feet flexed. Think of lifting the sternum, melting the shoulders away from the ears. Left peace sign fingers to the left big toe. Your right hand can stay behind your hamstring or up to the calf. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh and then bend your right knee. Fingertips pointing forward towards the top of the mat. Again, lengthening the spine, trying to press that left knee forward. You should feel it more in your hip that way. Now firm down through the palms, lift the hips up, figure 4 tabletop. Drive those hip bones up towards the sky, 3. Squeeze your glutes, 2. 1, release the seat down. Go ahead and extend both legs out. Give them a nice little shake. We'll take a gentle forward fold here. Walk the fingertips forward. Squeeze the belly in. You can imagine walking the sitting bones back a tad. Flex your feet. Go ahead and walk your hands back towards you, cross over your ankles, and find a tabletop position. Great, from your tabletop position, we're going to tuck those toes, keep a big bend into the knees. We'll go ahead and float the knees up off the mat, squeeze the belly so your shins are parallel to the mat. Spread the fingers out nice and wide. We'll go ahead and step the right foot back. The left knee is still hovering up off the mat. So right leg is back. It's almost like a plank pose, but that left knee is still bent at 90 degrees. Now go ahead and bring the left knee down to the mat. Pivot the left shin behind you as you pivot the inner blade of the right foot down. Inhale, stretch the right arm up nice and high, modified side plank. Extend the right arm overhead, bicep by the ear, stretching the entire right side of the body. If you're feeling ambitious here, let's go ahead and float that left knee up off the mat. Squeezing the belly. 3, 2, 1. Left knee down. Plant the right hand. We'll step back to a plank position. Now go ahead and step that right foot forward just maybe 1 foot so the right knee floats off the mat. We're doing the same thing on the other side. Now drop the right knee, pivot the right shin off the long edge of the mat. Inner blade of the left foot comes down to open it up for a modified side plank. Your left arm now extends overhead, breathing into the left side of the body. Staying strong through that right arm. Keep the engagement. If you're feeling ambitious, float the right leg up off the mat for 3. Squeeze your lower abdominals. 2, 1. Right knee returns to the mat, left hand down. Pivot back onto your left toes and then step your right foot back to meet your left high plank. Gradually start to shift your weight forward and slowly come all the way down onto your belly, hugging the arms in towards your sides. Untuck your toes. Start with a baby cobra. Lift the chest, the hands up off the mat. Try to crawl the shoulder blades back down the spine. Squeeze your glutes and firm down through the tops of the feet. Take a nice full breath in. Exhale, lower your forehead down. Walk your hands back just a tad. Inhale, come up, rolling the shoulders back and down. Keep a little bend into the elbows. Your arms stay engaged. Think of pulling your pubic bone down towards the mat. Try to drive the spine into the back of the heart. Gaze forward, little tuck to the chin. 3, 2, 1. Lower yourself all the way down onto the mat. Walk the hands back just a tad. Inhale, roll yourself all the way up for either a full cobra or upward facing dog. So for upward facing dog, float your thighs off the mat. Keep firming down the tops of the feet. Again, gaze forward, neutral neck. 3, 2, 1. Bring your knees back down onto the mat. Let's find a child's pose. Walk the knees out a tad, forehead down. Crawl the fingertips a little bit forward. Lengthen into the sides of the body. Steady breath in. Feel the belly expand, pressing against your thighs. Complete breath out as you feel the tailbone sink back towards the heels. Great. Inhale up through tabletop, and then let's find our first downward facing dog. Tuck your toes. You might want to walk the hands a bit forward, lengthening yourself out here. Walk the legs, bending the knees one at a time, stretching a bit into the calves and the hamstrings. Maybe you shake your head out yes and no. Bounce the heels up and down a few times. Find your even inhales and even exhales. Breathing length into the entire backside of your body. Slowly start to tiptoe your feet up towards the top of the mat, finding a nice wide hips width or a little wider stance once you're there. Put a big bend into the knees, let the belly crawl down the thighs, forehead reaching in the direction of the mat. Inhale, lift it up halfway. Feel the shoulders pull back from the ears. Try to press evenly through all four corners of your feet. Exhale, forward fold. Slowly, like you're a ragdoll, come all the way up to stand. Fingers dangle nice and heavy. Once you're there, roll the shoulders back and down. Heel toe your feet to touch. Sun Salutation A. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up, gaze up, palms press. Exhale, forward fold, forehead towards your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, right foot, left foot, high plank. Exhale, shifting your weight forward, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, gaze forward or up. Exhale, roll over your toes, find downward facing dog, 3 breaths. Feet hips distance, hide your ankles behind your heels behind your ankles. Point your fingers, point forward. Lengthen your arms. Try to create space between the shoulder blades. Inhale, lift your heels up, bend your knees. Look forward, step first, right foot, left foot, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, look up to your palms. Exhale, hands heart, hand side. Round 2, stepping back with the left foot first. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, head up. Exhale, hands plant, step back, left foot, right foot. Use your exhale, lower halfway. Try to bring the entire body down in one time. Inhale and exhale to downward facing dog. Gaze between your feet or up towards your navel. Try to engage the lower abdominals. Think of driving your lower belly in the direction of your thighs and lifting the outer hips up towards the sky. Let's inhale, lift the heels up, bend your knees, look forward, step first with your left foot and then your right foot, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms all the way out and up. Exhale, hands heart and hand side. Last round. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. You have an option here. Inhale, head up. Option 1, step it back. Option 2, float it back to a low push-up, your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing. Take a nice full breath in. As you exhale, step your right foot up to your right thumb. Prop up onto the fingertips, straighten your right leg, lift the toes up off the mat. Come up higher onto the left toes. You feel this in your right calf, right hamstring. Now go ahead and bend the left knee, bring it down to the mat so you're in your half split. Untuck the left toes. That right leg, if possible, stays straight the entire time. Now walk the fingertips back a little bit so they're framing your shin. You can use blocks here if you prefer. Otherwise, sometimes I like to create a fist and kind of press that down. Let's see, if possible, if you can float the right leg up off the mat. Now you'll have to squeeze your core a lot. Hold here for 3. Can you lift a little bit more? 2. 1. Bring the right foot back down, bend your right knee. Inhale, sweep your arms up for a low lunge. Right knee stacked directly over the ankle. Reach up through the fingertips, take a gentle back bend. And as you exhale, frame your right foot. Now pivot your left shin behind you off the right side of the mat. You're going to plant your right hand inside your right foot. Inhale, stretch your left arm high. So it's almost like a side angle, but your left knee's still on the mat. If this feels okay, go ahead and extend that left arm overhead, bicep by the ear. You're using the pressure of your right shoulder to press into the right knee, opening up that hip. Let's go ahead and sweep the left hand back down to the mat. Pivot the left shin back behind you and tuck the toes. Lift your left knee and stretch your right arm up for an easy twist. Going to roll onto the outer edge of your left foot. Step your left foot on top of your right side plank. Gaze down easier, gaze up harder. 3, 2, 1. Right hand down, right foot to the mat, high plank position. Optional vinyasa here, otherwise just press it back, downward facing dog. Take a nice full breath in. Use your exhale to step up to your left thumb. Prop up onto the fingertips, straighten your left leg and come up higher onto the right toes. It's like your right hip is driving forward. Now, if possible, keeping that left leg straight, drop the right knee down to the mat, untuck the toes, half split. Walk the right fingertips back a tad. Now, same options here, blocks, fists, or stay prop up onto the fingertips, lift the left leg up, squeeze the abdominals. Even if you can just float it up for a second, see if you can do it for 3, 2, 1. Left foot down, rebend the knee. Inhale, low lunge. Press the palms together, feel lifting through the sides, lean it back just a tad. Exhale, planting both hands inside that left foot. Now pivot your right shin behind you so the toes might come off the left side of your mat. Left hand inside the left foot, reach the right arm high. So you should definitely feel opening in the left hip. Try to stack the shoulders. Maybe you gaze up to your right thumb and or reach the right arm overhead for 3. Press down through the left heel. 2. And 1. Great. Go ahead and pivot the right shin back and tuck the toes. Right hand to the mat. Lift the right knee as you stretch your left arm high. Easy twist. Roll onto the outer edge of your right foot and then step the left foot back, side plank. Stay strong through that right arm, firming down the palm, gaze down easier, gaze up harder for 3. Squeeze the inner thighs. 2, 1. Left hand down, high plank position, optional vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back, bend your knee, stack your hip nice and open. Keep even weight in the palms, roll out the right ankle, both directions. Send the right leg up and back, square the hips as much as possible. Use the exhale to crunch knee to nose. Inhale, 3-legged downward facing dog. Exhale, crunch to your right elbow. All right, from here, we're going to shoot that right leg out, taking a fallen triangle. Try to line up your right toes with your fingertips. Roll onto the inner edge of your left foot and stretch your left arm forward. Keep lifting the hips up, firm down through the outer edge of your right foot, and then plant your left hand. Inhale, stretch the right arm up, or right leg up and back. Exhale, step up to your right thumb and find a warrior one. Inhale with the arms. Sink a little deeper into the right knee. Keep driving the left hip forward. Nice full breath in. Press the palms together. Lift through the sides. Exhale, we're going to find a Skandasana to the back of the mat. Deep bend into the left knee, hands to heart center. Now, if this isn't accessible, we'll take a side lunge. For that, all 10 toes are facing the long edge of the mat, and you're just taking a nice deep bend to the left knee. Breathing into your Skandasana, you should feel a nice stretch through the inner right thigh, outer left hip. All right, from here, you're really going to use the strength of that left leg, left glute. Press it all the way back up to a warrior two facing the front of the mat. You want to walk the right foot in towards the center of the mat just a tad. Use your next inhale to reverse your warrior. Maybe the left hand half wraps behind the back. As you exhale, extended side angle. Right hand to the mat or a block today. Stretch the left arm up overhead. You should feel a deep stretch through the entire left side of the body. Imagine trying to lift the left arch. So you're really pressing into the outer blade of the foot. Peel the chest open. And then walk the hands to the long edge of your mat. Turn your right toes in. Big toes or hands to the outer edges of your feet. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Feel the inner thigh spiral back. Try to firm down the outer blade.
That part again?
Which?
Right where you started with the peace sign fingers through the toes.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to restart it.
Yeah. All right, bring your peace sign fingers to your toes or hands to the outsides of your feet. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, squeeze and fold. Keep the engagement of your legs as you drive your sitting bones up. Inhale, prop up onto your fingertips, halfway lift. Pivot your heels in, your toes out. Sink your seat down and then float your hands to heart center, finding a goddess pose. Try to point your knees directly out over your second toe. Open up the hips and drive your tailbone down. Press the thumbs into your sternum. Sternum lift to your thumbs. Now let's pulse it here for 10, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, rise all the way up. Pivot your left toes in, your right toes to the top of your mat. Reach your arms out wide. Drive your hips towards the back of your mat and find triangle pose. Right hand to the shin, foot, or the mat as your left arm stretches up overhead. We're going to work a bit more into the side body, so if you have it available, stretch the left arm overhead, palm face down, maybe even look to find your left thumb. Great, let's inhale, rise back through center, reverse triangle, reach up, look up. Exhale, plant your hands to the top of the mat, lift your left leg up behind you, and then step your left foot to meet your right, fold top of the mat. Bend both knees, inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Stretch your arms up, hands apart or hands together in prayer. Sink a little deeper, weight to the heels. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step, jump, or float yourself back to the bottom of the push-up on the exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Next breath in, stretch your left leg up behind you, bend your knees, stack your hip open, roll out the ankle, both directions. Exhale, knee towards your nose, crunch. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale to the right elbow. Now extend the left leg out all the way to the right, trying to get the toes in line with the fingertips. Roll onto the inside of your right foot and stretch your right arm overhead for a fallen triangle. Breathe into the right side. 3, 2, 1. Right hand down. Roll back onto the right toes. Stretch the left leg up behind you. Exhale, step up for a warrior one. Set it up. Inhale, reach your arms up, hands apart or together. Lift through the sides as you sink a little deeper into the left leg. Inhale and exhale, Skandasana, flying monkey to the back. The other option is that nice side lunge where both feet are flat on the mat and you're just sinking deep into the right leg. Otherwise, Skandasana. Breathing into the left inner thigh, outer right hip. 3, 2. Using the strength of your right leg, press down through your right foot and find a warrior 2 to the front of your mat. Realign your feet if necessary. Use your inhale, reverse warrior, left arm up. Keep a deep bend in the left knee. Exhale, side angle with the left hand to the mat or a block. Stretch the right arm overhead with the palm face down. Really working into the side of the body. Use your either left tricep or left shoulder to keep pressing the left knee away. 3, 2, 1. Walk the hands towards the long edge of your mat. Turn your left toes in. All right, again, peace sign fingers to the big toes or hands to the outsides of your feet. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Try whatever variation you didn't do on the other side. Squeeze the belly. Imagine the sides of the body getting nice and long as you reach the crown of the head to the mat. Prop up onto the fingertips. Inhale, halfway lift. Pivot your heels in, your toes out. Sink nice and low. This time, bring your hands behind your head as you lift your torso up. We're going to crunch that right elbow towards the right knee. Back through center, left elbow towards the left knee. Moving side to side. Stay nice and low. Keep the legs working. 2 more rounds. Last one. Come back through center. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Straighten your legs. Turn your right toes in, left toes to point to the top of the mat. Reach the arms out wide. Drive your hips towards the back of the mat and then reach forward and down with the left hand to the shin, foot, or the mat. Trikonasana, triangle. Shoulders stack, gaze up. Let's extend that right arm overhead, palm face down. Try not to compromise by dumping the shoulders forward. You want to keep the shoulders stacked, the hips open. Inhale, reverse triangle. Left arm, reach it up like you're high-fiving a wall behind you. Exhale, plant the hands at the top of the mat and lift your right leg up behind you. Exhale, step the right foot to meet the left, forward fold. Bend your knees, Utkatasana chair. Bring the weight to the heels. Your toes are nice and light. Little scoop of the tailbone. 3, 2, 1, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step, jump, or float yourself back. One Vinyasa. And then downward facing dog. All right, inhale, lift your right leg. Crunch right knee to your left elbow, almost like you're going to fall in triangle. Roll onto the inside of your left foot and use your left hand to catch your right knee. Hug that right knee in towards you. So you got to squeeze, work the obliques a lot. For more, left hand to the outside of your right foot and extend that right leg out. Staying here for now. Keep strong through the right hand. 3, 2, 1. Rebend that knee, send it all the way back, three-legged down dog. Exhale, step up to your right thumb. We're going to plant, just kidding, we're going to come back to our warrior one. Inhale, stretch the arms up. This time, clasp your hands behind your back. Take a nice inhale. Work your bind towards your left heel. Exhale, humble warrior. Drop your torso inside your right leg. Bring your gaze to the arch of your left foot. Bump your hips a little to the left. And then release that grip. Plant both hands inside your right foot. Maybe you even walk your right arm underneath the right leg. Let's roll onto the left toes. Try to walk the right shoulder into the right calf. Drop your left knee here. So we're in a nice lizard variation. You can come down onto the forearms. If you're flexible enough, you want to walk the right shoulder all the way underneath the right knee. So it's almost like you're putting a backpack strap on, which is your leg. Now let's retuck the left toes, lizard pose. Squeeze the right knee in towards the right shoulder. If this is too much, you can have both forearms inside that right foot. Holding here for 3. Higher onto the left toes, 2. And 1. All right, unwind that right arm. So now both forearms are inside the right foot. We're going to sweep that right leg back for a forearm plank. Palms down. Try to wiggle the shoulder blades back down the spine. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. Start to walk the tippy toes in to find a dolphin pose. Piking the hips up in the air, trying to stack the hips over the shoulders, gaze between your feet. Now, one hand at a time or both at once, press into the palms, lifting the forearms up off the mat. Walk the feet back a tad to find downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Crunch your left knee to your right elbow. Bring the inner blade of the right foot down first, like you're coming into your fallen triangle, and then use the right hand to catch the outside of the right knee. Stay here, option 1, or option 2, catching the outer blade of your left foot and extending it forward. 3, 2, 1. Rebending the left knee, right hand to the mat. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step to your left thumb. Pivot the right heel down, rise to a warrior one. Clasp your hands behind your back. Inhale, peel the chest open. Exhale, dive your torso inside your left leg, humble warrior. Keep the grip, bump the hips to the right. Try to press the most through the left heel and the outside of your right foot instead of the toes. 3, 2, 1. Release both hands inside the left foot. Walk your left hand underneath your left leg. So you want your left foot to be in the middle of your hands. From here, roll onto your right toes. If this is too much, you can simply have both hands planted inside the left foot. Let's drop down to the right knee, untuck the toes. Come down onto the forearms. Again, you can have your left leg on, kind of like a backpack, or you can have both forearms down inside the left foot, just depending on your flexibility here. Try to hug the left knee in instead of letting it fall out to the sides. Now wherever you are, see if you can come up higher onto the right toes. Lift the right knee off the mat. Trying to square the hips by tugging the left hip back and rolling the right hip a little bit forward. Little tuck to the chin. Imagine lengthening your spine. Now if your arm is underneath your leg, bring it back on the inside, forearms down, and stepping that left foot back to a forearm plank. Hips and shoulders in one line, squeeze the inner thighs, and then start to walk the feet forward, finding Dolphin Pose. Really try to press into the palms and the forearms, trying to clear some space for your head to hang nice and heavy. Feel the inner thigh spiral back. Try to melt the heels down. 3, 2, 1, or both elbows at once. Pull them up off the mat and walk the hands back, or walk the feet back for downward facing dog. All right, here we're going to start to work that extended compass pose. Let's go ahead and step the right foot up to the right thumb. Drop your left knee to the mat. Pivot the left foot behind you off the long edge of your mat. We're going to come back into this modified side angle. So right hand inside the right foot, stretch the left arm high. All right, from here, you might want to briefly bring the left hand back down to the mat. Try to put that right leg on like a backpack, like we had just done in our lizard pose. I kind of like to make an L shape with my right hand to frame the right heel. You can come up onto the right tippy toes. I find this helpful. Make sure your right knee is hooked onto your right shoulder. If you don't have that yet, let's just go ahead and work to get your backpack on. Breathing into that stretch. If you've got it, right toes might lift up off the mat. You're going to see if you can peel the chest open to the left. If you can, maybe you play around with the left hand catching the outside of your right foot. I like to keep a bend in the knee to start, so the right foot is actually going to face the left side of your mat. Going to look something like this, kind of like twisted ropes. If you've got that and you feel pretty stable with the right shoulder and that your right hip has the flexibility, you can see if you can straighten the right leg. Keep spiraling the chest open. Try to drive the hips towards the long edge of your mat. 3, 2, 1. Start by rebending the right knee, coming back one step at a time. Then you'll plant the right foot on the mat, release the left hand down, pivot the left shin behind you. Great. All right, from here, let's tuck those left toes, walk all the way over to the left side for Skandasana, this time coming all the way down to the seat. That should feel pretty nice on your inner right thigh. If you cannot come all the way down to your seat, no worries. Come onto your seat and then take a modified Yanushirashasana with the bottom of the left foot to the right inner thigh. If you're keeping that left knee bent in towards you with the knee in towards your armpit, use your right hand to catch your left ankle and take a deep side body stretch. Left arm reach up and overhead towards your right foot. You can do something similar with Yanushirashasana. Left hand towards your, or right hand to your left hip crease, side body stretch. Either way, really getting into that left side of the body. Let's inhale, come all the way back through center. All right, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna plant both hands at the back of your mat. So you're almost in like a pigeon pose on the left side. We're gonna tuck those right toes. Use an inhale, send the left leg up and back, three-legged dog. So we're gonna do the same thing on the left side, just switching directions. So step your left foot up to your left thumb and drop your right knee. Pivot the right shin behind you so the toes come off the long edge of your mat. Left hand plant inside the left foot. Inhale, stretch your right arm high. So if this is still a challenge for you, let's work on this for now. You can put a block here under the right hand to make it a little bit more accessible. If you want to go for step 2, we're going to go ahead and plant both hands. Try to put your left leg on like a backpack. So you're working your left shoulder underneath the calf. I like to create that nice L shape with the left hand, kind of framing the heel. Again, if you get lost on any of these steps, or if it's too much, just work on that step for now. Once you've mastered it, move on to the next one. So if you'd like, lifting your left heel, we're going to catch the outside of the left foot with the right hand. Helps to keep the knee bent to start. It looks a little funky. If you feel strong and stable though in the left shoulder, go ahead and extend the left leg. Keep the shoulders stacked. You should feel this on the left inner thigh. Peel the chest open. 3. Maybe you gaze up. 2. 1. Getting out the same way you got in. Rebending the left knee. Planting the left foot. Plant both hands. Extend the right leg behind you. Toes tuck. Lift that right leg up. Walk your hands all the way to the right side of the mat. And a nice Skandasana coming down to the seat. Same option, Skandasana to seated or Janushirashasana, side body stretch. Either your left hand catches your right ankle or your left hand catches your right hip, depending on your variation here. Reach the right arm up and overhead. Keep sinking the right hip, the right glute towards the mat. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, rise, taking almost through like a pigeon variation, planting both hands at the top of your mat. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Move through one vinyasa. And find downward facing dog. All right, we're going to try one more challenging variation here. So we're not getting to the full posture, but what we just did and then this next one are the two closest, and then you can put them together to get to the fullest flying compass pose. So we're going to pretend we're going into fallen triangle. Lift your right leg, crunch to the left elbow. Roll into the inner edge of your left foot. Option 1, grab the knee. Option 2, grab the foot. If you've got the foot, you're extending the foot forward and then reaching that leg all the way towards the top of the mat. So the right leg is in front of the right arm. In the fullest variation of this posture, the leg would actually be behind. But we're going to pause here today for 3, 2, 1. Step your right foot towards your right thumb. Pivot onto the left toes and drop the left knee. Wiggle walk that left leg back, half or full splits. So we've stretched quite a bit, and if you're flexible, you might be able to get into full splits, Hanumanasana. Otherwise, half splits is great as well. This is my easier side, but on the other side, I like to either use my fists to kind of lift the hips up a bit, or if you have blocks, those are great to use on your hands as well. Three, 2, and 1. Go ahead and find your way to a pigeon pose. So if you're in half splits, you'll want to kind of bend into the right knee to start, and then walk your right foot towards the left side of your mat. Drop your right knee down, and then start to wiggle walk the left leg back. For a bit more of a stretch here, you might want to float the arms back and press down through the top of your left foot. This is a more active stretch. For a more passive stretch, you can bring your torso forward, come down onto the forearms. We've done a lot with the hips today. This is a great kind of counter stretch. Will also be helpful tomorrow if you find yourself a little bit sore from all the stretching and opening we did on the hips today. Okay, let's slowly walk the hands back. Tuck the left toes. You're going to lift your right foot up off the mat. Gently step your right foot over your left leg and find a wild thing. Option to skip this if you're not feeling it. You can simply meet us back in a downward facing dog. That's where we're going. Both hands down. Optional vinyasa if you want it. Otherwise, just grabbing your downward facing dog. And we'll do this on the other side. Left leg up. Exhale, crunch to the right elbow. Roll onto the inside of your right foot. Option 1, catch the knee. Option 2, catch the outside of the foot. If you've got the foot, extend it. Maybe from here, extending it all the way overhead. So the right bicep comes by the right ear. Press down through the outer blade of your right foot. 3, 2, 1. Stepping your left foot towards your left thumb. Pivot onto the right toes and drop the knee. Half or full splits. Like I mentioned, this is my more difficult side. So again, I like to use my fists here. It's just a little bit easier on the fingers. If you've got blocks, those are great as well. Try not to compromise opening your hips. This is still a closed hip posture. So it's kind of easy to roll the hips open to the right. Keep the top of the right foot down, squaring the hips to the mat. We'll be here for 3, 2, 1. All right, half pigeon. So you kind of have to maneuver your way through half splits. Then bend a little bit into the left knee, walk the left foot over to the right side of the mat. Drop the left knee to the mat. Maybe starting out with more of an active stretch, floating the hands back. You really have to firm down the outer blade of the left foot, the left shin, and then possibly coming into a more passive stretch onto the forearms. Keep pressing down through the top of your right foot. Again, this will be a great stretch for you tomorrow if you find yourself a little bit sore in the inner thighs, outer hips. Slowly start to walk the hands back under the shoulders, tuck your right toes, float your left leg up off the mat, and optional to step it up and over the right leg for a wild thing. Right shoulder over the right wrist, squeeze the glutes. 3, 2, 1. Left hand down, step it back. One more vinyasa, only if you want it. Otherwise to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward, step, jump, float to a seat or jump it through, extending the legs. Just as we did in the beginning, we're going to take a nice gentle forward fold here. You can imagine wiggle walking the sitting bones towards the back of your mat and then crawling your belly down your thighs. If you have the space, you can grab ankles, feet, maybe grabbing one wrist. Keep the feet flexed here, actively stretching the calves, the hamstrings. 3, 2, and 1. Walk the hands back. We're going to take reverse table or reverse plank. Reverse table, you're bending the knees, pressing the hips up. For reverse plank, you keep the legs straight, press into the hands, lift the hips, the legs up off the mat, and drop your head back. Keep pointing the toes. 3, 2, and 1. Lower the hips down, legs down, and lay all the way down onto your back. Bring the knees into the chest, similar to how we started class. All right, we're going to end with a shoulder stand option and then a happy baby. So, shoulder stand. Easier option is to just take legs up the wall, ankles over knees over hips. Harder option, or I guess just more advanced, hands support the low back for a full shoulder stand. You can walk the elbows in a tad in line with the shoulders. Try to use more of the palms, less of the fingers to support the back here. Stay here or plow pose, Halasana, extending the legs overhead. Again, hips try to stack over the shoulders. If your feet touch the mat, you can clasp your hands, drive the outer edge of your hands into the mat. Feel the triceps root down. Staying here, maybe even bending the knees for Karnapidasana, ear pressure pose. Just how it sounds, try to hug your knees into your ears. Press down through the back of the skull to relieve a little tension on the neck. 3, 2, 1. From wherever you are, ear pressure, plow, shoulder stand, or legs up the wall. Let's just go ahead and unroll with the knees into the chest. Little tuck to the chin, lengthen your spine, and rock a bit side to side. We're going to move into happy baby, so bring the knees in towards the armpits. Try to stack your ankles over the respective knees and catch the outsides of your feet. Feel the tailbone pulled down to the mat like you're getting the entire spine rooted. Feet stay flexed. Stay here. You can play around with bending, straightening one or both legs. Might feel pretty nice on those inner thighs after all the work we did today. This was one of the more challenging classes. So as you progress throughout your practice, this would be a great one to come back to as you build strength and build a bit more flexibility, especially in the hips. Any final posture you'd like to take? A twist, another inversion, a back bend. I'll give you some time to do that. I know we did a lot of core work, so some sort of back bend could feel nice. Also, if you're just feeling completely gassed, I am, that's totally fine. You can take a few extra moments to rest, getting nice and prepared for your Shavasana. So kind of coming full circle here, just how we began class. You can let your arms sprawl out to the sides, or again, you can bring your left hand to your heart, your right hand to your belly. Try to release tension in the inner thighs. Maybe walk the shoulder blades underneath you. Let the chest sprawl open. Any holding on or contraction in the body, let that go with your next exhale. Take a moment of appreciation, gratitude for your body, everything it's done for you, not only throughout this class, but throughout this day. All the ways it helps to bend and stretch, to get you from place to place. Take a nice full breath in. And exhale, take rest, Shavasana. When you're ready, but no rush at all, bring a little movement back into the body. Eventually taking a full body stretch with the legs overhead, or arms overhead, toes point. Full breath in And then exhale to squeeze the knees into the chest. Taking your time to get to a seat. So if you want to roll onto one side through a fetal pose, or if you prefer to rock up the spine, find a seated pose facing the top of your mat. Feel the sit bones root down. The vertebrae stack one on top of the other. Hug the shoulders up to the ears on a breath in. And on a breath out, roll them back and down the spine, letting them completely relax. Float your hands to heart center, the thumbs to the sternum, sternum to meet the thumbs. Ending practice with a moment of gratitude, again for your body, not only for what it can physically do in a yoga class, but for all the ways it shows up for you. Staying healthy, staying alive, staying breathing, getting you through your daily routine, through your work. For allowing you to enjoy the asana practice of yoga. Nice full breath in. Exhale, sigh. Bowing your head slightly. Honor yourself, your body, your practice, your breath, and your teacher. All the teachers who you've learned from, but your real teacher is your body, the one you listen to the most as you move. Of course, it is always an honor to be your guide and your teacher through YouTube. From my heart to yours, namaste. Have a beautiful rest of your day, your evening, whatever today holds for you. I hope you enjoyed this slightly more advanced yoga class. I'm thinking of maybe incorporating some posture workshops, so some postures like this might be helpful for that. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Give my channel a subscription. New videos released every single Wednesday. And have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you from beautiful Santorini.